Told you, 5 after.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll call to order the Beer Board meeting for December 15th, 2009. We do have a quorum. Has everyone had an opportunity to read over the minutes? And does anyone care to make a motion?
A motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. I'm going to change this a little bit on you here.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and go with the new business for the on-premises beer permit application for the new Apple Buffet located at 5179 Murfreesboro Road. I am not going to butcher your name, so if you wouldn't mind, please come into the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Okay, my name is Wan Tao Chow. The address is 5179 Murfreesboro Road, the Vergne, Tennessee. Zip code is 37086.
All right. Is this the first restaurant you have owned?
Yes, it is.
And what other experience do you have selling beer in Laverne and or Tennessee?
Not in the Tennessee, but I've been, the previous couple of years, I've been all over the country. Like the place I went to, like New Orleans, El Paso, and then Los Angeles. And yeah, I've been working in the restaurant for many years. I have the experience of understanding about the beers.
Okay. Have you familiarized yourself with Laverne's beer board ordinance?
Yes, I did read the one application that's a sheet
Yes, you
behind.
get a
I did
copy of
go
it with
through,
your
yes.
application. Okay. And how do you intend to train your employees as far as being able to serve beer?
I told my employees just this morning and then tell them not to sell any beers to any minors that age under 21, and make sure it has like, for example, on the table, on one table, if there's a minor, must occupy with the parents, and then if the parents want to order the beers, must have the serving the food before to order it, and also the time like the serving time is like Monday till Saturday, not serving between 3 a.m. till 5 a.m. and the Sunday about 3 a.m. till 12 noon, right. 12 o'clock, and then not sending anybody already been drunk or has the mental problem, and things like that.
Okay.
Very good.
Does anyone have any other questions for Mr. Chow?
The only thing I need to mention is the background check has not come back, so we should have it back any time now. I'm hoping we'll have it actually back tomorrow. So if you do approve the application, I would request that be approved subject to the background check coming back, okay?
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or care to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept the permit pending the background check.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So when do you open it?
17th this month, so it's Thursday,
So
just 2 more
Thursday.
days.
Well, good luck with your business.
Thank you.
And Mr. Bruce will get with you as soon as the background check comes back, and as long as all that's clear, he'll let you know to come down, and we'll get it signed and get it to you, or get it ready for you to pick up.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike, we can adjourn now. Tell them we can adjourn now.
No, you can leave if you want to, and I'll give you a call when the permit's ready to pick up. Yes, sir.
All right. On to old business. Motion to approve or reject settlement offer for the pantry doing business as Kangaroo Express Store 3613. Has everyone had an opportunity to read the latest counter offer, and you have some comments you want us to know?
Well, just to clarify for the board, Madam Chairperson, the last meeting, this board made a counteroffer back to the pantry for the service of an additional 30 days on top of the 11 that have been served at present, with that offer to expire within 10 days. Within those 10 days, I did receive an acceptance as to the additional 30 days contingent on that being served starting on the date of the currently scheduled hearing, which is January 6th of 2010. The offer, though it was only open for 10 days, did not specify a date certain upon which this suspension would start. And so because of the new date that came back, it's my opinion that that effectively was a counteroffer back, at least in terms of the timing of serving the suspension.
Right.
And so that's where it is. In terms of the dates that have been, or the days that were taken back to the pantry that were approved for this board, that has been agreed to. It's now really a question of whether the board will accept their condition on that it being served starting on January 6, 2010. In addition to, I communicated, though it wasn't formally part of the counteroffer that went back, I communicated some of the conversations that went on during that deliberation back to Mr. Oliver, who's counsel for the pantry and who is here tonight. I know there was specifically some talk about them enrolling in the responsible vendor program. That was a concern of this board, and I think he spoke with his clients. They recognize that, and they have committed to signing up not only this store but all of their Laverne locations, and I believe there are 3 within the city by the end of January. Mr. Oliver's here to take any questions from the board tonight or explain anything further. I know he supplied me with and has a copy with him tonight of their new training manual, which is either approved or very, very close to being approved by the state to use as their own in-house program, which will satisfy the RVP requirement. I know he would like to present that to the board and let you all know what they're doing on that front. The only, as far as the RVP, and Chris may be able to speak, Mr. Oliver may be able to speak to this a little bit better. It's my understanding that there is a responsible vendor program regulation that provides that a entity can't enroll in the program while there's a pending violation. And so, should this board choose not to accept this counteroffer, I don't know that they could enroll until after the hearing is held on this, which again will be on January 6th. If there was some sort of agreement between the board and the pantry, I think we could work that issue out with the state. They would, if we went ahead and agreed to the timing of the serving of the suspension, the city, the state could agree to allow them to waive that provision and go ahead and enroll all the businesses this time. I understand that their position is they're going to enroll the other ones already. This is the only one that's sort of in a pending status at this point. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions or at least field any questions, and I know Mr. Oliver would like a chance to also address the board.
Anyone have any questions?
Not at this time.
No. And I think the only comment I have to it was the responsible vendor part was the main part that I kind of saw as a counteroffer, because we had not stipulated a time, but because of that promise, and I'm going to go ahead and say it yet again, that was what I saw as the counteroffer, and that was kind of why I said it the way I did. I do appreciate it, and I'd love to see it happen, and hopefully what happens here tonight will allow that to take place. And unless anyone has any other questions, we can hear from Mr. Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. And I won't take long, but if I could approach, and this is just 2 copies, and this is the manual, and I thought I should have brought 5 or 6.
That's okay.
But,
There you go.
I want y'all to see how close we are, and the time involved in in building something like this, and I don't want to be long-winded because I appreciate y'all taking time to hear me out, but that's part of the problem. We have over 100-something stores in Tennessee, and this will be rolled out to all those stores eventually. We're definitely going to start here. And again, we just regret that this happens. We want to try to get on the same page to put this behind us and work with you all. So if the board is satisfied with the January 6th start date, we can start with that. And then I wanted to give the board some background. We didn't have a start date, so we sort of, when I talked to Derek and realized that the timing was an issue, it was a big disappointment for my client because we sort of thought we would have a deal once we agreed to the 30 days. We didn't realize that the timing may be an issue. So because of the holiday and everything, I don't really have authority to take a date, less than earlier than the 6th, but please, if you can't accept that, please give us tell us when you would like us to start, and let me present that to the pantry and see what we can do with that. But again, they asked me to come and express regret over this whole deal, and I know there was some talk about the economic impact of this, and I can tell you all that even if starting on the 6th, I think we're looking at, based on our prior history, of a penalty in the high tens of thousands. I mean, I say high, I would say between $30,000 and $40,000 based on the time we've already been suspended, and the suspension early in the next year, which is still a busy time for us before the Martin Luther King holiday and
The Super Bowl.
right,
So that would be a big
right.
one.
It's still a painful time, and so what we're trying to do is come up with something that would satisfy you guys, but let us stay in business at this time next year. And as far as the RVP, I have met with Haywood Reed, who's the director of the RVP, and he has looked through all this, and we just got a few more changes to make. I'd say it's 90% done. Then once that's approved, we just do the training with each store, which is mandated to last at least 2 hours, and focus on these materials, and then we get them signed up with the state and pay our money, and they'll be enrolled. And I did talk to the legal department because I knew this might be an issue, and explained to them this violation and what was going on with the negotiations. And Carolyn Smith in the Tennessee ABC legal department said that, if everything else was agreed upon, she didn't see that it'd be a problem enrolling while we're serving the suspension. So that we would basically roll off the suspension and be enrolled and start all over again, is how she explained that would work, at least in her mind. Okay. And so I'm just here to answer any questions about the counteroffer or the program or anything else.
Mr. Oliver, who is responsible to ensure that this process is carried through?
You want to put some teeth on the RVP?
Absolutely.
Well, I can tell you, and that's another reason I came, I will be responsible for that work, and I'm telling you that it will be done by the end, but we can certainly, work with Derek to, I don't know, what would you all like to see? I mean, I would maybe recommend that at this particular store, that suspension would continue to be ongoing until it's enrolled. That seems like a pretty good offer. Either we get it enrolled or we don't get our license back. With that, so I would offer that because again, my instructions are to try to get on the same page with the board and get us enrolled. And
Well, I think this is a very serious situation, and it appears that they are attempting to take care of the problem promptly.
You have their attention, that's for sure.
I think that's the main purpose.
And I think they see that and recognize that. And
I agree with Dana, because so many times we've been told we're going to sign up for this program, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and at the end of the day, we have the recurring incidents. And that's what we want to stop. That's our primary focus.
That's right. And we have 3 stores here, and they're not going anywhere, and so that hopefully means I'm not going anywhere. So I'll be right down in here looking at you.
And we don't want to see you again.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
you know,
Much rather meet you
understand.
outside one of the stores and
That's
hi,
right.
how are you than in
That's
here
right.
because another minor has been sold to.
Well, I'd rather get back to defending slip and falls and things like that than appearing before y'all on a regular basis. But again, they regret it happens. We're trying to put everything that we can think of in place to keep it from happening. And
I think this is the right start.
I do too.
well, thank you, and I'm going to sit down and shut up and unless y'all have questions.
Does anyone have any more questions for Mr. Oliver? No.
No.
Does anyone have any, or has everyone had a chance to read the offer that was sent back, or the clarification on our counteroffer, however you actually want to state that? Does anyone have any comments, motions?
Well, I applaud Kangaroo for taking the steps that they have. I think that I think them coming back with this program that we have viewed is definitely a good step in the right direction, and then that's ultimately what our goal is. So,
And I don't think it's to put anybody out of business. I think it's to stop an ongoing problem. I'll make the motion to go ahead and accept the counteroffer as they have it written out, the Responsible Vendor Act and the 30 days,
Okay.
along with this store in particular not selling until this has been completed.
All right, so the motion as it stands is this 30 days will start on January 6, 2010, and for that store will not end at 30 days. It will actually end after the 30 days and any additional time needed for the RVP to be accomplished.
Correct.
Anytime after that 30 days, if the certificate is brought in and Bruce is allowed to see that it has been accomplished for that store at such time, that would stop. So do we have a second on that motion?
Before we proceed, I have
Okay.
a question. If we make that, because that's not the, I guess my question is, the question on the table, is it not to approve or reject the offer that's presented here? Because if I'm understanding correctly, what we're voting on is a different offer that's going to have to go back and then be presented to this board again. Then we're going to be here again in January.
My understanding is Mr. Oliver feels like he's got authority from his clients to accept all the terms that have been laid out at this point. And just so I'm clear, what I hear is on the table is an additional 30 days to be served starting on January 6th, 2010. The 3 Laverne Kangaroo stores enrolling in the RVP, and this store's suspension will not be lifted if it is not enrolled. Will not be lifted after 30 days if
If it's
that
not
particular
complete.
store
That-
is not enrolled or has
Then
completed the
has-
training
Right.
by that point.
Certificate of completion.
And for the record, that's right, and it's store 3613.
Thank you.
And I do have authority for that.
Okay.
Okay.
And I also want it in the motion that the 30 days are to be served even if the RVP is completed.
Correct.
In less than the 30 days.
And we get a copy of it.
Right.
So what you gentlemen just stated, that's the settlement offer we're being presented that we are voting on now.
Right.
That's the motion that I hear being made.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, well then I'll make a second.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Do we have any other business before this board this evening? Then before we adjourn, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Miss Allison, a happy birthday. And everyone have a wonderful evening. This meeting's adjourned.